What's up with the squad? Back with another video. I seen that title was going down. Make sure y'all hit the like button, subscribe. Make sure y'all also go check out the last video that was dropped. Amazing video. And Harold threw me off a little bit, I ain't gonna lie. So make sure y'all go check that one out. Let's get in the video.
Testimony about to resume on day 8 of New York's criminal trial against former President Donald Trump. His defense team wrapping its cross-examination of the former National Enquirer publisher David Pecker just a short time ago. Alina Habba is former President Donald Trump's legal spokeswoman and the general counsel for the Save America PAC. She joins us now. Alina, thank you very much for joining us.
My pleasure. Thanks for having me.
I know just a couple days ago, as this was going on, you suggested you were not optimistic that the jurors and the judge in this trial will do the right thing. Have you changed your thinking on that at all?
If this was based on facts and what actually happened, my comments would be different. The realisticness of what happens in New York courts when your name is Donald Trump and you're the leading candidate for the GOP is incredibly different. And for people to say that's not the case is just denial of what's actually happened to the American justice system. We have a serious problem. We have a problem where there's a vitriol, there's a Trump derangement syndrome, and it's blinding lawyers, it's blinding jurors, and it's affecting judges. Their Soros backing and political affiliations should have no part in the court, but I've seen time and time again that it does. So, you know, my comment, while the left-wing media would like to take it out of context, it is the truth, which is that President Trump has done absolutely nothing wrong. He should win. And if he's given a fair jury, if he's given a fair court, if he's not in Manhattan, which is a completely blue state where they only polled blue state members of the jury on purpose, well, that's a different game. But to say that, you know, if I said here that I think everything's perfect, well, I'd be completely hypocritical. As I've said for the last 3 years, this is a witch hunt. The president is under siege. The American people are under siege. And if we don't change the judicial system, if we don't get rid of this lawfare in place of politics, the American people are going to suffer.
Hey, Alina, it's John here. So we have had legal analyst after legal analyst, and this is Andy McCarthy, former federal prosecutor, Jonathan Turley, constitutional law professor at GW. He's argued before the Supreme Court, all saying they have read all of the material, they've watched the court proceedings, or at least listened to them, and they can't figure out where the crime is that Alvin Bragg is trying to charge the president with. But when you take a look at the makeup, and this goes to what you were saying a moment ago, when you take a look at the makeup of the courtroom, the jury, all the prosecutor has to do is convince the jury that, hey, something bad happened here. And you don't really need to prove the fact. You just need to convince them. But do you think at this point that even if Alvin Bragg were to get a conviction, that there's enough material that this could be overturned on appeal?
100%. And if you have any doubt about it, I've seen the vitriol happen in the lower courts. I've seen it happen with the Attorney General case. And look what happened there. We had a $475 million insane judgment. We went to the appellate division. They lowered that immediately. And they'll look at the facts and look at the record. We have unfair records. And I want to be clear, that was my point. We have judges not allowing evidence that should be admitted. We have rulings that are not necessarily press-related or worthy rulings, but they affect our cases. We can't bring in evidence that most people would be allowed to bring in. Now, all of those decisions, all of those transcripts are examined closely by the appellate division. And that's what I've always said. These are long game trials. They're not necessarily trials that will win when we have AGs and DAs going to the Biden administration and coordinating with the top. But I do believe there is some justice at the appellate division, at the higher courts, as we heard yesterday in the Supreme Court, that will hold true to the Constitution and the laws and apply laws to fact, like we're supposed to do.
Alina, this just in from our team in the hallway of the court.
I'm just listening, y'all. Alina Habba be speaking facts. Y'all can't cap.
House here in Manhattan. They're flagging to us that Jason Miller from the Trump campaign handed a printed copy of former President Donald Trump's Truth Social post out around the courthouse as everybody is at lunch. That particular Truth Social post that the former president just posted acknowledges that Joe Biden, in this new interview with Howard Stern a short time ago, announced that he's willing to debate. So the former president Donald Trump is posting about that, saying everyone knows he doesn't really mean it, but in case he does, I say anywhere, anytime, any place. How would you describe the former president's, I guess, how's he doing? You're clearly in touch with him on a regular basis, and this is a long process. He's sitting in the courtroom for many long hours every day. How would you describe his current state? How's he doing?
Look, politically is one thing. He's so strong. Personally is
Definitely,
another. He is the biggest fighter I know. I can't tell you, I don't get into polls and all of that, and those speak for themselves at this moment. But if the American people want to know how he is on a day-to-day basis, look at what you're seeing. He comes out fighting. He comes out with papers, he's reading, he's educating himself, and he's educating the country on what is happening. He's making sure that this platform that they've created for him, where he is not allowed to campaign, is going to still be used as a platform for the American people to hear what is actually happening and to motivate people to get out and fix the country in November. And that's who he is truly, whether he's in court in front of a camera or he's behind the scenes just speaking to myself. He is resilient. He is a fighter, and he's just a positive person. This just motivates the man, frankly, even more. The more they hit him, the more he gets up, because he doesn't want this to happen to people that don't have billions of dollars, that don't have the ability to defend themselves despite the constant ridicule and the constant persecution. He sees this as an anti-American witch hunt, and I'll be honest with you, he's the same person I met 3 years ago.
Exactly. And I feel like, honestly, let me make sure
just resilient and strong and a fighter.
Dude, he's so strong when it comes, and you can see it. When people ask those questions, this is like the second time I heard somebody ask Alina Habba this. And they sit there and ask, how is he mentally? How is he how is he going through this? How is he, and if you see, obviously I guess that could be a valid question, but it's not. Because if we pay attention, we just seen the construction site, how nice he is, how he's talking to everybody and how they love him and how, he has that support. I feel like it'd be way different if he didn't have support. He has a lot of support, and he's just a strong individual in general. It's history in the making. Keep on saying it. Make sure you hit the like button, subscribe. Definitely appreciate y'all. Much love, everybody. Catch you on the next one.